Yes, we're live. Hello, welcome to a new episode, Rising Clarity Insider. I'm happy to have with me today Natalia. Um, uh, so, tell me, first of all, thank you for um, having you with us today. Um, we will talk today. The subject is about culture and desire and how the game between the a man's selection, women's selection, and the desires for freedom, love, and family, and how the culture affect these all terms. Uh, Welcome, Natalia. Tell me, like, what do you do on Substack? Why you're here? And yeah, just to share us a bit about this topic.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Alan. It is very nice that you invited me this time. Uh, I think that the conversation that you are proposing, it's very deep and very interesting. I've been thinking about it yesterday. I've looked at the questions that you sent me, and it really, 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 really made me think. Um, I think lots of people are going to relate to what we're going to talk about. I'm going to introduce myself just a little bit to the people who mm, probably don't know me yet because we are on your page, not on my page, right?
Yeah, yeah, no problem.
Um, so I just actually recently started on Substack. I'm very new to Substack. I started my Substack in April of this year, and it's just like some miracle happens, before all of that um, Substack idea and everything. But I'm very happy that I'm here, and I've been writing for a very long time, and I was writing mostly. Basically for myself. I didn't put it anywhere. I've always been thinking that it's just, who's going to be interested in that? There's so many people writing it, much more interesting things. But again, this is cultural also. So, um, and in April, I decided on a go that this is an amazing idea, and just let me just put it out there, and that's how it started. But writing is not like my full time job. I have a business. I'm in New York. I'm a New York based. I have a business fully running. I have kids. I have lots of responsibilities. So writing is something that I do to embrace my creative side. And not only that, I always say that I do writing to embrace my creative side, but basically I do writing as a part of my self therapy and as a part of basically I think the therapy for other women, because lots of women read me and they relate to what I write. So there is a purpose in my writing, and I'm very happy about that. So this is in short of who I am.
Yes.
Yeah,
Say hi to Sue. Sue is with us today. Hi, Sue.
Sue. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Sue! I'm so happy you're here. I
So
didn't.
let's dig into the subject. Really, like sometimes I think about the limitation of the culture, the pressure of the culture, and how it affects the desire of a man, of a woman,
Mhm.
and it's really like I think people don't think about. They think about the subject, but they are sensitive to talk about it. Like if
Yeah.
someone is harmed, if someone is not into his days,
Yeah.
uh, it's very contradicted this time, this nowadays, like the desire and the freedom and how we can analyze this. And after I seeing your writings, to be honest, like they were so real, and this is affect for sure many type of people that they want to talk about this. So I link your topic on Substack, your topics that you write with my Rising Clarity Insider
Mhm.
as a newsletter, because we talk in our community to increase the clarity in our lives, especially whatever is the subject. I'm happy to help people to be more clear in their lives, and to be motivated and just
Mhm.
find sometime. This time is find your new partner, your partner, whatever, like, it's named under friendship, under whatever it is.
Yeah.
So this is why the reason I'm here today with talking about this topic with you. So how do you, like, what was the outcome between the deepest desire for freedom or love? So how do you think about this?
You know what? I wanna bring us back a little bit to the conversation that me and you, we met prior to this call, and we spoke for like a little while, and it was a very interesting conversation that we had because we are coming from completely different cultures, me and you. You coming from Middle East, and I am coming from Russia. What I want to say actually is I've been thinking about it yesterday, and I realized how culture really um, basically defines who we are, right? When we're just born and when we are just exploring ourselves. And there is so much inherited in us from our culture that really basically determines, in the most part, right, our future. For the most, for I would say for the majority of us, right?
Yes.
Um, and those who decide that their identity um, should be different and should not be dictated, right, by the culture that they've been born to or they've been grew up into, they decide to take different steps. But there's a catch over here, okay? Because you might decide to do that and you already start doing something, but then you realize how much of that inheritance is in you and how much of this inheritance basically lived through all your life. So it's so hard to really overstep it and be a completely different person. And that's what happened basically for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I am coming from the Slavic culture, I am from Russia. And women in our culture are subjected to lots of sacrifice.
Mm.
We sacrifice ourselves, basically, in your relationships. Basically, what our culture teaches us, right, is that the duty that the woman has is the major thing. Okay. And then comes love, and then comes whatever there is. Okay. But the duty is the first thing. And this is the major thing that you have to go by. Um, and for many years, I really didn't realize of how much and how many things in my life I did um, because of this inherited belief in me that I have to do something because I have to satisfy my husband, that I have to satisfy my kids, I have to make my parents happy, I have to make, whatever, whoever is around me happy. But where was I? I I was
Yes.
always thinking about it. Like where is me in all of this duty thing? And you know what? Many, many, many women, they live their lives basically not. They feel that something is off. They feel inside that something is going on, but they don't really um, maybe understand, or they are not in that state yet to go and find out what bothers them inside. And what I found out about myself, what's been bothering me for many years, was that I completely lost myself in the duty, in obligation, in the fact that I was doing most of my things from survival state. Okay. Not from a state of love and sharing and abundance, but from the survival state that I wanted just to everybody just to leave me the fuck alone. Okay. Just I'm going to satisfy everybody and then I'm going to come to myself. But it never happens. You satisfy everybody and it's never enough. It's never enough. Okay. You keep on satisfying these people. Um,
So
so
you serve your
yeah,
culture in a good
yeah,
way.
serving. In my culture, women are um, basically designed to serve their men, children, um, relatives, parents, whatever. We are here to serve. We are here to serve. And we are basically, it's, yeah, sure, you can have time for yourself, but, come back.
Yeah.
But this is the time limit, okay? In 10 minutes, you got to come back to your duty, so, sort of. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
how
Awesome.
is it for Middle Eastern women? Because I know it's a little we I think we have like some similar things over
Yes.
here.
Yes. I think it's complicated, but similar things. Women in the Middle East serve the culture a lot. Um, she has like the culture obligations. They frame women and men even. You have to get married. You have to bring kids. You know,
Hmm.
serving your parents. So this little like limitations that we born with shape
Hmm.
us in different way,
Absolutely.
and when you start recognize there's different things outside of your
Right.
loop or
Oh,
your
that
bubble.
limitations. Yeah, those little things.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you start discovering yourself with like, oh, something new, something good, something better than this obligation. And at the same time, in my opinion, I don't want to get rid of my culture. You know, there's a lot of good and positive things
Yeah.
that I take with me too when I came to Canada. So I left the bad things behind and take my best, you know, best culture or best things that they frame me. So in
Hmm.
my opinion, the woman has more difficulties than the man in general. The man has like advanced steps in the Middle East, but um at the same time there's no like definition. If you want to get some revolution, like to revolt, or you want
Yeah.
to step up, even if you're woman, you can do that. Like there's no limitation, and sometimes the
Yeah.
religion, the culture limited
Circumstances.
you.
Right.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah.
So
Hmm. Yeah.
you can do, yeah, you can do and overcome your obstacles, but at the same time you have to take the consequences with you. There's a lot
Exactly.
of, yeah,
The lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's similar to Russia, the Russian culture, but
Yeah.
in Lebanon there's a lot of like in chaos. You know, the
Hmm.
society will be in chaos, especially with the woman. Like if she asks about her rights, like something, you know, weird or something, wow, like extraordinary. Like she's always focusing on her duty, how to serve her
Man.
her kids.
Parents.
I'm talking about like a good woman in general, you know,
Yes. 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 Yes.
serving her family, love her husband, whatever, and just like left leave, keep the family survived in
See,
this
and you said good woman, right? You said good woman,
good woman.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's also very interesting, like our definition of what a
of a good
good
woman.
woman is, right?
This
Because
is
for
the
some people,
question. This is
yeah,
the following question: is there
yeah,
any archetype for good man or good woman? That was the next question, to be honest. Like in
mm,
the list, um, like I think everyone has his own definition for good woman and good man, because also the culture framed this thing. Like sometimes, I think in the Middle East, good man, it means like has family, you know, has a job, like
provider.
these
He's a
provider.
provider. Okay,
The
okay,
woman is like she's serving her kids. She loved her husband, you know, like
yeah.
good
But what
woman.
about her herself?
It doesn't
What
mean good woman to
you
forget
know?
herself, you know. Maybe
Right.
good woman, but she's not happy. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's an archetype of a good woman or a good man. I
It's
think
so
this is
very
under this is
subjective.
serving under freedom. Sorry.
I think, to my opinion, there's no good or bad. I don't believe in good or bad. It's your perception of how you want to see it, because you
Yeah.
might see something in good, and you might see something in bad. Like, let me give you an example. Like, if it's a war, okay, and you are killing your enemy, you're a bad guy, right, for killing another person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're a good guy because you are killing this person to save your family. So it's it's our perception. It's all in your mind. It's how you want to frame it. So I don't believe in good or bad. I don't think there's good, or I don't think there's bad. I always tell my kids, when they're like, there were times when my daughter would come to me, and she would say, "Mommy, am I a good girl?" And I know when she would say that, it's coming from my mother, from her grandmother, because she would always tell her, "Oh, good girls, they don't do that. No, no, Alyssa." That's my daughter's name. "No, Alyssa, good girls don't do that. Good girls don't, I don't know, show their panties to everybody." Or she likes to, like, strip off and, like, run around the house in her panties, and she's like, "Oh my God, Alyssa, good girls, they don't show their panties to everybody," or something like that.
Yeah.
And she would always come to me, and she would always ask me, "Mommy, do you think I'm a good girl?" And, you know, me coming from basically the same, from my mother, right? Um, there's a part in me that really want to answer her and say, "You're an excellent girl. You're such a good girl. You're a beautiful girl." But you know what? I catch myself in the middle, and I always tell her, "Alyssa, there's no good or bad. Okay? It's just the way people look at you. Okay? And if you want to run around in your panties in the house, it's okay." And I know that many people are going to listen to this right now, and for some of them who are culture, for their culture, they would say, "Oh my God, running in her panties around the house in front of the guys. Oh my God," But I know there are other people who are, on the same page as me, who will say, "Whatever. Let the kid be the kid, and let her run around in her panties until she can get away with that." See what I'm saying?
Yes, that's why like the culture restricts the person, like limit the perception, and you try to raise as a good person, and then you figure out, okay, there's like more than a good or bad.
That's
There's
right.
how the
What is
culture.
good? What is
Yeah.
good? What is bad? If you ask, I don't know, African people who live in the desert and in the poverty, they will tell you one thing: what's good for them. Okay, you go to Dubai to those sheikhs, they will tell you something else. You see what I'm saying? We are all different, and good for me will be bad for them, and bad for them will be good for me.
Yes.
So
Do you think these restrictions or limitation of a culture serve the family or the love or love in general, or just like maybe harm them?
it's also a very controversial question, very difficult question. Because when I mm, was going through my transformation, let me put it this way, right? Everybody likes this word now, transformation. Um, and I have nothing against this word, but I think it's like a little overrated. So when I was going through my own thing, um, trying to find my identity, I was really trying to um, find out, who am I? Because I was everybody. I was a mother. I was a director in a very high end school in Manhattan. I was running a business. I was a wife. I was a daughter. For my parents, like multiple things. But in all of that, I really could not understand who is Natasha. What does she, what who am I? What do I like? What do I really like family dinners? Do I really like Thanksgiving? Do I really like cooking? Do I? You know? And I started really digging into this. And it was beautiful. There are two sides to this. It was beautiful because I started basically realizing who I am. I started really finding out different things about me, and I was very excited about that. But the downside was the fact that I became a person that all of my, people who lived with me, they didn't know who I was. And it was a huge downside in terms of everybody started blaming me. Oh, you've changed. We don't know who you are. You used to be, like this and this and this and this. Yes, I used to be very comfortable. I used to be very agreeable to everything. Oh, you want this? Oh, sure, let's do that. And then I started saying no, little by little, to the same people who I would say yes in most of the cases. And all of a sudden, I became extremely uncomfortable for everybody, and everybody started blaming me that I changed, that I'm not the same person, and it's not very pleasant to be around me. And that was the downside. This is
Yeah.
basically the downside when you try to figure out who you are. The upside is beautiful because you start realizing, oh my God, I am this, I am that. I love dancing, I love music, I love dressing up, I love
Nice.
whatever,
Yeah.
whatever the things that you like, right? And the downside is that you are no longer that version of you that was so comfortable for everybody around you.
Yeah.
And I think that people should be ready for that when they start digging into themselves. That's why I started talking about transformation. Transformation is beautiful, and everybody talk about that, but it comes with a huge downside. You become a totally different person, and the people who are used to that version of you, they don't know who you are anymore, and you have to live with that. You have to live with that new version. And in my culture, I was blamed every single day. And I am blamed right now, actually, even years later. I am blamed for lots of things that I stopped doing. And basically, I stopped um, serving everybody, serving their needs. I started giving everybody their own responsibilities, right? I would say to my parents, you know what? I think that, you can figure this out. I mean, you really are grown up people. You can really figure this shit out by yourself. And I became extremely bad daughter all of a sudden because
Yeah.
I stopped caring, but I didn't stop caring. I do love my parents. I love them dearly, but I realized that I was mothering my own parents, and I became the parental figure for my parents, and this is absolutely a no in the hierarchy of things. Okay. And we're still working on it. We're still learning this new relationships, and you know with success sometimes it's not, and it is what it is. But I don't want to go back to that version of me that uh, just agrees to everything. Okay. I became extremely uncomfortable for the people in the business. I became extremely uncomfortable for most of my friends. And, I'm left with basically maybe like 3 or 4 girls who are around me. But I know that they truly understand who I am and they accept me the way I am.
Yes.
Right.
Without judging, at least.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
And without trying to, change me or tell me that I didn't, do something or whatever. So it comes with a huge downside. Like suddenly you become lonely. You become
Yeah.
isolated. And at the beginning, it's very scary. Um, because you still want to be with people and you still want to be, um, not you want to be, but you you want an approval from everybody. That's what's in my culture. It's extremely important to get an approval from
Yes.
men, from women. You go outside, and if you don't look a certain way, then they will say, "Oh my God, what the hell is wrong with her? She looks like shit today." You know. So women in our culture, they go outside in a full makeup and looking beautiful all the time because we
Yes.
we will be judged. We will be judged if we go outside. That means she doesn't take care of herself. She's some kind of a whore or whatever the hell she does at night. She can't put a makeup on,
Yeah.
and things like this. So,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think, yeah, in my opinion, the guys like from Middle East, when they left the country, any country in the Middle East, they come to Canada or
Mhm.
the US. They start also, as you said, the same as any woman try to find themselves in a new culture,
Mhm.
which is personally I take what was the best thing from my culture
Yeah.
and try to adapt to a new me, because you try to find yourself in a different aspects, in a different obstacles that you find in like all the challenges. It shapes you again. But this is the upside that you're talking about. This is a very positive challenge to me, to find yourself again and not to leave your culture like in
Yeah.
totally. You take what was the best, and then it's similar to your case, which is the people sometimes try to like you change, you become. They told me you become a Canadian, and
Yeah.
you adapt quickly. You've been giving it all, like
Yeah.
you have your knowledge, you do this, you do this. Yeah, they
Yeah.
start also to define you or to judge you
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way. But for
Yeah.
me, like whatever I was before, a giver or whatever I was doing in the Middle East. Also, I didn't think about what I was doing there, what I love, what I don't love, like all this stuff. So I think this is the same journey, the same path, which is leads to another personality or another new me.
Hmm.
And this is leads to the other question that I want to ask, is about
So,
what was the biggest risk you've seen in a man take for the sake of love or family, and the same for women. Like, what was the biggest risk you've seen a woman take in order to serve not her new identity, to serve the family and to serve herself, if there's any downsides, as you were saying before, like in general, there any biggest like mistake or biggest risk that she took in order just to serve love? Yeah.
you know what? I think that if we just strip away, right, the cultures, strip off this inheritance, deep inside we are all the same. We're
Mm.
absolutely all the same. You know why? Because we all want the same thing. We want love, we want integrity, we want affection, and we just want to be ourselves, right? If you strip off all of this, costume of Middle East or Russia or whatever that is, right? Where you're coming from. Deep inside, we're all the same because we are all looking for the same thing. It's very basic what we're looking for. And to me, this basic thing that we are looking for, basically be ourselves around everybody, right? Just be you without masks, without names, right? Without being put in some kind of a frame or whatever that is. We all want love. And the biggest sacrifice is to basically forget about that. Just put it aside and live for that particular person. Basically, you become the version that that person want to see in you. Okay. And you say to yourself, okay, that's okay. I just, he wants me to be this. I want to be this. And not I want to be, I will be this. Okay. And to me, this is the biggest sacrifice that most women do for the sake of love, relationships. We all have our own, programs in the head. We all have our own things, psychological that we need to work on. But that's what I see in most women. This is the biggest sacrifice that most women do. Doesn't depend on the culture. It's just like um, enormously. Okay. We just sacrifice ourselves to for the sake of the kids, the family, the work, the man, whatever that is. I do not necessarily see that men do exactly the same thing, and I wanted to ask you that question actually. Um, what would you sacrifice as a man? What as a woman? I told you what we sacrifice. We sacrifice basically our identity. Okay. What are you guys sacrifice? Because I have my own opinion about this, but I want to hear you.
uh, it's yeah, it's hard question, but I think they sacrifice freedom. If you see, like sometimes they see themselves not free with the girl that uh, she loves him, or and freedom is a big thing, like concerning the relations
Mhm.
in man's life. And sometimes they trade also, they sacrifice honesty. They are not honest
Mhm. Okay.
with they are not honest with the girl that they met, and
And
this
they're
is
not
cost
honest about what? About her
about
or yourself?
both. it's
Uh-huh.
it's like it's like if they don't they they are not transparent, but where they're choosing their partner, it costs them a lot, because
Hmm.
they think sometimes that the partner, or she loves me, like I take her for granted. Why I should be honest with her, because I cannot find another partner that she loves me more than my current partner, so I think honesty is the big game between the two partners, whatever is the framing the relation. So freedom is a big thing, and honesty, and sometimes they lock themselves like uh in a relationship, because they see, like, they have a checklist, and they're like, this is the one, tick 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 tick,
Hmm.
they start like a checklist, and this is the one, which is they cannot, like, sometimes they trade imperfections in them.
Uh-huh. But you know
They
what? From
don't
what you
want.
said, yeah, from what you said, I think you're talking about the same thing as I do, just in different words. We are all afraid of showing off the real us to the other person
Yeah.
because we are scared that that other person is not going to take us as we are. Okay. And that was my biggest fear. And I think I'm universal in that. I think we all can relate to that because I'm reading this comment from Christelle, and she says that sometimes if you are being me, she said, you lose people you love, and sometimes you cannot say what it is the truth or what it is you are thinking. So, as you mentioned before, they force you to hide, unfortunately. And that's exactly what happens. You are scared to open up to the person because you think that the other person is not going to take you as you are. And there's a huge trust issue over here, right? Because for this, in order for you to be you, with somebody else, you need to be extremely vulnerable. Okay. You need to be able to let go of that guard and show off as yourself. And this is terrifying, right? And for me, this is basically the one thing that I am working on right now, being vulnerable and being able to show up as myself as much as I could. And it still is a very much struggle for me, very much so.
Yeah, I think like my challenge when I put relations in general into frames or just watching couple or whatever, um I start seeing them, in different version,
Yeah,
because if he's lying or something, if she's not transparent, like what are you doing together? You know what I mean?
that's
So
right.
I'm
That's
trying
right.
in my own life to adapt the different regulations, which is I'm always honest. And this is cost you a lot. When
That's
you're
costly.
honest, this
Honesty is
costs you a
very
lot.
expensive.
You
Honesty
lose.
is extremely
Yeah.
expensive. Yes. Yes.
It's
Yes. I
expensive,
agree.
but you will be happy with this, you
True.
know? You will be happy with this. I don't know, like this generation, there's like younger generation now, how they see the relations in general. This is a difficult question because the younger generation, uh different, they have different mentality, they have different way of seeing things.
Mhm.
So this is a new challenge to them to frame like their thinking or their thoughts in a good way in general, like how they perceive the word differently. Because before, in the old generation, they see the woman, okay, she's the one, okay, let's get married, have kids, that's it, full,
Yeah.
the end. These
Not
days,
that
like
easy
it's
anymore.
more
Not that easy anymore.
not that easy anymore. So yeah, it leads to this question: the younger generation differentiation from the old conservative perspective, and also we were talking about the loneliness.
That
How
was the best. Yes.
yeah,
Oh, Sue
how
has such a beautiful comment. Look, she said, "Be yourself, and the right person will find you because they are looking for you."
yeah,
That's beautiful, Sue. Yes, you just nailed it. That's exactly the fear that most of us have. We are just scared that we're not gonna find that particular person because we don't know ourselves what we're looking for. That's why I said at the beginning of our conversation, you really need to find out who you are, not you uh, in different roles and how people see you, but you yourself, what you like and who you are. And then once you identify that within yourself, then things start shifting. Okay. And
yes.
then people come to you. Okay. They're not coming to that version of you that you played, but to you yourself. So I agree with you completely.
Yeah, it's a nice comment, to be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so the last question: what's the role of loneliness? Like how sense of belonging and the freedom can lead to isolation. How does the fear of loneliness impact the choices of a man or a woman? And like the tension between the culture and desire and the loneliness, how it plays between the three concepts. Because it's like sometimes if you're alone it's different, if you're lonely it's different. You're gonna have anyone like, okay, let's be friends, let's be whatever, just to fulfill your emptiness.
That's right.
And sometimes you just like, you don't know, like you meet a girl and then, okay, I forget to like, you know I'm
Yeah.
very, we're very connected, we're
Yeah.
we're we're good, like life
Yeah.
goes on. This is the, I think this is the challenge. And for me, like personally, I'm from the start, I'm the honest uh,
hmm
partner in general. And when I gave this honesty and transparency to the other partner, I put in him, I put in her the responsibility
Yeah.
to be confident, you know. And this is a good challenge for me because it takes courage to
Courage. Yes.
adapt and to
Yeah.
have a great relation. So, what do you think about loneliness and what I was talking, like the last thoughts about loneliness and culture?
That's a great question, actually. Um, to me, I think that uh, freedom, right? We all like to talk about it, and we all like freedom. Uh, freedom is like honesty. It's a very expensive thing. You sacrifice a lot of stuff to be free. And to me, freedom um, is actually when you allow yourself the freedom of becoming who you are and being who you are on other people. It actually, like equals loneliness because you become one of the few people who are actually allowing themselves to do that. Okay, and you are becoming one of that very few people um, who allowed themselves, right, that huge privilege of being free. So to me, being free and being lonely, it it's it's a very unified kind of combination. Um, and I there's a huge difference between being a loner, right, and being lonely. Okay, uh, I identify myself as a loner. I like to be by myself because, first of all, I'm very comfortable with myself and I don't need people around me to make me feel good. I can make myself feel good all the time. And that's why I think my own company is the best company for myself. And I consider myself a huge loner. I need the time for myself. I need to go somewhere by myself. That's how I basically recharge and gain my energy. But there is a difference between loner and loneliness and being lonely, as I said, because if you are lonely, you are seeking people to identify you, okay, to approve you, to pat you on the shoulder, to tell you, oh my God, you are fabulous, and things like this. Basically, you are not within yourself, right? You are not inside, you are outside, okay? But you're still lonely because inside you have a huge gap. You don't belong to yourself. Okay, so there's a difference between those two things. And for me, freedom is actually being able to allow yourself to be a loner. Okay. And when I allow myself to be a loner, when I tell my kids, I need time for myself, I need half a day, I'm going to go to the ocean, I'm just going to sit and I'm just going to recoup, that's a freedom. Okay. That's a freedom that most people and most women um, do not allow themselves. Um, and that freedom comes with consequences. Again, I told you about the consequences. You become extremely uncomfortable and you become extremely painful for everybody to be around. So for me, freedom is costly, it's expensive, it comes with a lot of downsides, it comes with loneliness. And if you are willing to just have all of these consequences, live with them, and just stay true to yourself, then I think you won. I think you won a huge prize. Okay. And that's the same in relationships as well. If you are living with a person who allow you to be you and who allow you your own freedom, okay, to go to the ocean and just sit for half an hour or for half a day or whatever the hell you want to do, it's a freedom. And when you find that person who allow you to be free, and who allow you to be yourself, you won a huge prize. You are already a winner to me, you know?
Yes. And how do you know that the other partner is came from a loneliness uh like loneliness aspect or not? It's hard because these days, especially these days, the digital world and like dating apps stuff, a lot of
Mhm.
chaos. How do you know the true like partner if is coming from a loneliness part or not, or loneliness side?
Um, Again, I think you will see it right away. That person doesn't want to change you. That person doesn't want to put roles on to you. That person does not want you to play by his or her rules, because we're talking about men and women over here. Um, and you will see it right away in that person. You will see that that person um, genuinely just wants to be with you. He doesn't want to change anything in you. So to me, this is the biggest sign when a man does not want to change me into anything. He doesn't want to turn me into a good wife. He doesn't want to turn me into a good sex partner. He doesn't want me he doesn't want to turn me into an amazing mother for his kids, whatever, He just takes me as I am with all my bullshit that's inside, okay? With everything, okay? And he provides a stable ground for
Mm,
me to just be who I am. Okay. And being a woman, right? And being a man, we're talking about different energies over here because women are extremely hormonal and, our moods change in a matter of 5 minutes.
yes.
So, so to me, a man who is stable enough in that particular circumstance when you are just hysterical in 1 minute and then you are just like a very sexy cat in another 3 minutes, and then in another 2 minutes you might turn into a complete bitch. uh, to me, a man who withstands all of this and doesn't want to change me into anything, okay, that's the winner.
So he's willing to accept the imperfection of the other
Absolutely.
partner,
Just
whatever it is.
accepts
Yeah.
accepts me for whatever I am. Okay. And it might not be pretty one day, it might be ugly the other day, it might be bitchy the third day, and, things like this. And the same goes for women too. If I don't want to change a man, that's a winner too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's nice. I think there's any final thoughts you like to add? Because it's been like 50 minutes. I think it's good to
Wrap it
to
up.
have a conclusion. Yeah.
Listen, I think we started like with one thing and then we
Yeah, I
we
think we
went in
cover
between.
the questions and we cover a good conversation.
Yeah. I think it was an excellent conversation because we were the different, like the two polarities, like man and a woman. We've been talking about very sensitive things that people don't usually want to discuss, right? And I think this conversation will be actually um, helpful for whoever's going to be listening to this, whoever's going to be joining and just looking. And maybe people are looking for answers, and we just gave somebody an answer.
Yes, I
Sometimes,
agree.
you can find an answer just like that. Somebody will say two words that will change your whole world.
Yes, correct. I hope this is comes with some answers and hope for the people that they want to listen to or just having some advices. Thank you, Natasha. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you so
Have
much,
a
Alan.
so I hope for next next live sessions, with different
Sure.
topics. Thank
We'll
you
talk about something else. I'll
for
be
sure.
happy to talk to you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.